Yeah, I watched season 1 of this of Ori Emo. This is one that people have been recommending to me, and I've kind of put it off for the obvious incest in it, but I finally decided to just say fuck it and go ahead and watch it. And I probably enjoyed this anime more than I should have. I'm not going to deny that. Oh boy. Emo was directed by Hiroyuki Kanabe and by what studio is it by? By A1 Pictures. Wait. A1 Pictures looks at season 2, but is AIC a anime production company? Huh, weird. Well, I guess produced by AIC. And it originally ran from October 3rd, 2010 to December 19th, 2010, with a total of 12 episodes in the end. Technically, there was technically 2 episode 12s. I'll get into why in a sec here, plus 3 OVAs. So technically 16, I guess you could say, but 12 ones that aired right away. Okay. And this is only about season 1. I have not yet seen season 2. I'm going to be reviewing them separately, okay? But season 1, though. What is there to say about Ori Emo? In case you're wondering, Ori Emo is the short way to say it. The full name is Ore no Imoto ga Kona ni Kawaii Wake ga Nai, which stands for My little sister can't be this cute, also known as Ore no Imoto. It's based off the light novels, but there's also a manga as well, and some games based on it. So what is there to say about Ori Emo? Okay, first off, like I said before, I kind of avoided it at first because of the obvious incest thing, which I know how season 2 is going to end already, so you don't have to worry about spoiling anything for me in the comments. I already know how season 2 is going to end. That's kind of why I was avoiding it, but after a while I just decided to say fuck it, because I've never been someone who's been inherently against incest in fiction as long as it's written properly. An example I'll come up with is Koikaze, which is an anime I really enjoyed. And that's an incest anime. But it's written so well that I really don't care. But I tend to avoid them though because most of the time they're not written that well. And if it's purely played up for comedy and the comedy is actually good, then I won't mind either. But if the comedy's not usually that good, here it's not only written very well, but the comedy is also very good. And there's lots of very well written drama here as well. Now, the main, I guess there's kind of 2 main characters. The brother and the sister aren't really one character isn't more important than the other. The brother is Kyosuke Kosaka, and the sister is Kirino Kosaka. Kyosuke is 17 years old, and Kirino is 14 years old. And a lot of people don't realize, why some romances have this type of an age difference. What people fail to realize is that in Japan, the age of consent is 14. So, for anime, it's not. For over here, yeah, obviously, the age of consent is 18. But in Japan, the age of consent is actually 14, which is why that there's a lot of anime like that, okay? And Kyosuke and Kirino, I think we're led to believe in the past actually got along very well. But it's been years before that since they actually got along well. Nowadays, they don't get along well at all. They're basically like a generic brother and sister at this point. Although we do get subtle hints, even in the beginning, that they at least do care for one another. And we learn that, yes, they in fact do. Now, there's not really a whole lot for me to say about this series, though. Or at least about the plot, because the plot's pretty straightforward, okay? The series, I don't think is a great series because of its riveting plot, okay? I think it's a great series because of its characters, which I really think is where this series shines the most. Okay. Which it has a very colorful cast of characters. Is of course Kyosuke, who's I guess you could say he's your stereotypical male lead in the sense that he's what the fuck am I talking about? No, he's not. He's so much different than any other male lead in a series like this I've ever seen. He's not oblivious to other people's feelings like a lot. He's not a spineless pussy like we get a lot. He's not a heartless bastard or a heartless womanizer like we get a lot. It's like, I mean, yeah, he's a pervert, but he's a 17-year-old kid. I mean, come on. I mean, but it never gets to the point to where he just seems like a womanizing prick, Like, he's the exact opposite of your standard male lead for this type of a series, and Kirino is definitely your standard little sister character in this type of a series. Not really much to say about that, except at this point, even though I haven't watched season 2 yet, she's probably my favorite in this archetype. I just love watching Kirino on screen. I really do. There's also Ayase Aragaki, who's Kirino's classmate, who works as a model alongside Kirino because they both work as a model for the school, and is also her best friend. She admired Kirino for being seemingly so perfect in every way, and she originally had a simple crush on Kyosuke, thinking of him as Kirino's caring brother. Of course, she does get conflicting opinions when she finds out about Kirino's otaku hobby and how Kyosuke was aware of it and helps support it, because she's one of those people who just doesn't agree with it. She hates it, and for a while it seemed like they were going to stop being friends because of it. Not on Kirino's part, but on Ayase's part. Eventually they did manage to work it out, though, and they're still friends, even though Ayase still doesn't necessarily agree with it. And then there's also Manami Tamura, who's Kyosuke's childhood friend and appears to have a crush on him. There's Sayori Makishima, who's the leader of the Anime Girls Unite group on the internet, whom Kirino meets in a meetup. And there's Ruri Goko, who is a 15-year-old otaku girl who lives near Kirino and later enrolls into Kyosuke's school. And is also a member of that group as well. Then there's Kaneko Kurusu, who is Kirino and Ayase's fellow friend. And there's just so many other characters, lots of side characters, but each character at least gets enough screen time for you to feel some sort of impact from them, whether it's dramatic or it's humor or whatever. Okay, but the main characters, or at least the most important characters, are definitely Kyosuke and Kirino, and after that it would be Ayase, Manami, Sayori, and Ruri. Okay. So yeah, and in terms of characters, I think every character is actually very good. Like, even characters like, I don't know, Ayase, who I was beginning to dislike at first because of how she treated Kirino, just because Kirino is an otaku, but she became sort of a likable character after a while, because even though she still disagrees with it, that she was still willing to be friends with Kirino because her friendship with Kirino was more important. So aside from like the romance in the series, there's also a lot of drama just revolving around friendship too, which is something that I didn't expect. I also didn't expect this series to be such a what would you call it? Such a vocal piece, I guess you could say, to the otaku culture, which it kind of was. That was the biggest surprising part of me, which I guess kind of has to do with plot, but that was the biggest thing that surprised me about it. Okay. Because, like, Kirino is an otaku, but for years, she has kept it secret from her parents, and even her brother. In episode 1, she does tell her brother, but still keeps it secret from her parents for a little while, because she was afraid of what they think. And she kept it secret from all of her friends as well, because she was afraid what they might think, and which is very common in Japan. Okay. And obviously, when her father found out about it, he disagreed with it. Her mother, I guess, whether she disagreed with her or not, I think was kind of unclear. But she at least wanted to be understanding because she loved her daughter and whatnot. Her father was kind of a hard ass at first, but eventually grew to ignore it. And the way she obtained so much, erotic visual novels, because she liked to play those, even though she's 14, and games and anime and manga and whatnot, is by basically, she's, like I said before, she's a model at school, and so she used that money to buy all of her stuff and whatnot. And she also bought a lot of clothes in her purse that she wears and whatnot too, which I guess was for her parents and brother so they felt that she was using her money for great use, but she also had other money which she was saving away to buy anime and games and stuff with and whatnot. And she kept them hidden in a secret closet in her room, which I thought was fucking hilarious. Really. Even the father, which I thought that I would hate. I mean, he's definitely a hard ass, and I hated him at first, definitely, but he was at least willing to accept her hobby, even if he still probably doesn't agree with it. So how much it speaks to the otaku culture, especially in Japan, what really shocked me, but I also really loved it too, okay? So, yes. So that's really it in terms of the characters, I think. Like, Kirino is obviously the main love interest for Kyosuke, even though they're siblings. And I think... I don't know about Ayase anymore. I would have said so early on in the series, but she doesn't really think much of Kyosuke anymore, I don't think. But I guess Manami definitely, and Ruri, as of the last few episodes of season 1, most likely. So yeah. But that's really it for the characters. Every character definitely had their purpose in the series, but those are like the main ones which felt really impactful. In terms of the art, it was pretty generic in this series. Wasn't not anything to really speak about. The animation is not that great at all, but that's kind of to be expected from a series like this. The music is actually really good. Nothing too memorable, but it fits the scenes, and I love listening to it when it's there. That the ending to this series is pretty okay, but I love that opening song, okay? So anyways, overall, I think I'm going to wrap up this review, though. I love Season 1. I can't wait to get to Season 2. I probably enjoyed it way more than I actually should have, like, by all reason and logic, but I've still enjoyed it very much, and I definitely recommend it, as long as you're not too weirded out by the whole incest thing. So yes, but anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.